After my mother died, I got on a plane. No plan, no destination. I only knew I had to get out of New Jersey. When I landed in Atlanta, I told the cab driver, "Take me downtown." I figured every city had one. He dropped me off on Peachtree, where I found a cheap hotel with a weekly rate. And for a while, that was home. I found work at a nightclub. I found roommates. I found a place to live. It was a tan duplex on a corner lot with a front porch that split down the middle. My side had 3 bedrooms. One roommate moved out without a word. The other and I stopped speaking after a fight. It was not long before I was alone in that house, eating canned SpaghettiOs on the mattress, wondering what had happened. Then the job ended. The club got bought out. I came home one afternoon to find an eviction notice folded and taped on the front door. I carried it inside and laid down on the floor. No furniture, just a mattress, a cracked stereo, and an empty kitchen. The carpet was rough under my hands. The blinds hung uneven. The silence pressed in from every side. I cried until my chest ached. Then I heard her voice through the open window. "You hungry?" Vera called. She lived on the other side of the duplex. Mid-50s, soft eyes, always wore house dresses and slippers. She had grown children and grandchildren, but somehow she made room for me too. "Not really," I said, "but I'll take something and eat it later." "Come on over," she said. I crossed the porch. Her door was open. She had the food packed in a Tupperware, still warm. She handed it to me and studied my face. "What's going on with you?" she asked. "I don't know," I said. "It's all right," she told me. "You don't have to talk to me, but you do need to talk to somebody." I shook my head. "I don't have anybody." "You always have somebody," she said. "He's listening." Then she looked up. I knew what she meant. "I'm ashamed to pray," I said quietly. "I haven't talked to him since my mother died." "You should never be ashamed," she told me. "You still his child. He's not judging you. He knows your pain." I rubbed my forehead and looked down. I don't even know how. "Talk to him the same way you talking to me," she said. "That's all. No kneeling, no ritual, no performance, just talk." I nodded my head and walked back across the porch. Inside, I set the food in the fridge. I turned the music down low and sat on the mattress. At first, the words came out sharp. I told him I was angry. I told him I felt abandoned. I asked why I kept losing people, why my life keeps breaking apart. My voice shook. My hands wouldn't stay still. The anger thinned into grief. The sentences got shorter. I told him I missed her. I told him I was tired of being alone. My chest felt heavy, but I kept talking. The grief gave way to questions, not shouted anymore, just spoken into the air. I asked if I was supposed to be here. I asked if there was still something ahead for me. I asked if he was still listening. And then I stopped. The room was quiet except for the hum of the stereo, but it did not feel empty. It felt like someone was sitting close, not speaking, but there. I stayed like that for a long time, breathing slower, feeling something in me unclench. When I finally lay down, I fell asleep with that stillness around me. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of metal keys turning. The mailman was at the silver lockbox in the middle of the yard, the one between our porches. I sat up, watched him drop envelopes inside. The cicadas were loud, the air felt thick. When he drove off, I stepped out onto the porch. Vera was in her window, adjusting a fan. "Good morning, beautiful," she called. "Good morning," I answered. I walked to the mailbox and pulled out the stack. In the middle was an envelope addressed to me on behalf of my mother. Seeing her name on a letter in Atlanta stopped me cold. The return address was from an insurance company. I tore it open right there. Inside was a check for $12,500 from a life insurance policy I never knew existed. I dropped to my knees in the grass and pressed it to my chest. My head bowed without me thinking. From the window, Vera saw me. She didn't ask what happened. She didn't ask what I was holding. She lifted her hands and began to pray. "Thank you, Jesus. Yes, Lord. He hears you." She never stopped. She did not need an explanation. She already knew. And I stayed there on the lawn, holding what had been given, letting my tears fall.